Ole! Right then, here we are, the Barcelona Invitational CSGO Day 2 match 4, I think. I think this is halfway through Day 4 here in beautiful Barcelona, which apparently is beautiful outside. We're inside what seems to be the world's coldest hall. But it's time now to do big dogs. 2 of the bigger teams that are here as part of this event. One of them is on 2 lives. One of them still has all 3. Which way is it going to go? Well, let's meet the teams. The first one to come out is Dignitas. May I say that was a very butch walk.
Sorry?
It was a butch walk. It's a very difficult walk from there to here. So you still have 3 lives left. Between yourselves and your Danish friends, your alliance is looking pretty strong.
Yeah, it looked really strong when we had the only alliance, but then Invitational, Fnatic and G2 decided to create one themselves. So yeah, they controlled the last few games by picking who's like favorites against the lower seeded teams. But if we beat Fnatic now, we kind of have to control again, and that's what we're betting on.
And talk me through one of your matches yesterday, because you were pushed pretty hard, weren't you?
Yeah, especially G-bots surprised us a lot. They played really well and also gave a good fight against Fnatic. So yeah, Vex was kind of not so close game, but they still had a good C side.
Now I haven't seen the veto. What map's been chosen?
We're gonna play Cobblestone.
How do you feel about taking Fnatic on Cobble?
I feel very good. It's, in my opinion, one of our best maps, and it's always good to play on your own strengths. So I'm looking forward to it.
And hit me with a score prediction. What do you think the score prediction will be at the end of this?
I think we're gonna win 16-11.
16-11, I'll tell you that. Thank you very much to Dignitas. Feel free to take your seats, which means we need to meet their opponent. They're called the biggest team in the world for very good reason. That is Fnatic. That is a fabulous sign. I don't know if we've got a camera guy who can pick that up, but I love you. Very good work. So, fans here in the crowd, you are down to 2 lives though. How are you feeling you're playing here in Barcelona?
We're feeling fine. Like, we're gonna win this, so.
Yeah, I love that confidence. So when we chatted yesterday, I brought up a rumor to you, which was that you were talking about not losing a life, and you said maybe 1. So that's it now. You're not going to lose another life over the next 2 days?
No, we're fine now.
So how do you approach playing Dignitas on Cobble?
We're just gonna be better than them. Like.
Do you know, I'm going to leave it at that. We're going to be better than them. Thank you very much to Fnatic. So the teams are ready to go. It's time to go with our 4th match of the day. It is Dignitas taking on Fnatic. Alex, it's over to you, buddy.
Thanks very much, OJ. 2 teams gone, and now we're going to be seeing what Fnatic can do against Dignitas. The map has already raised eyebrows on the desk. Cobblestone of everything. I'm going to go straight to you, Janko, because right as that you heard that word, you went, why?
Yeah, in my opinion, this goes against what Fnatic does historically in their vetoes. They play towards their opponent's weaknesses, right? And Cobblestone is the best map for Dignitas. These 2 teams actually played it once in November online. It was Star Ladder qualifiers or whatever, yeah. And Dignitas beat them on, after overtime, and that was the only map they beat them on. They lost 16-4, 16-5 in the other 2 maps, so it's an interesting decision in my eyes for Fnatic.
Fnatic's T side as well against Envy looked underwhelming until Olaf just got let off said leash. It's I don't know. It's kind of hard to
devil's advocate over here.
All right,
Barcelona.
Yeah, hi.
This is their. Oh, are you being devil's advocate?
Barcelona.
I was raising my devil's advocate.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so
I'm just Barcelona.
You can be Barcelona.
Yeah.
I'll be devil's advocate. What about this whole idea? We keep coming back to this point about teams just taking this as an opportunity to improve themselves.
No, not now.
Not now?
Because this switch, if this was Vexed or someone, maybe.
Sure. But then Janko made the counterpoint. How are you going to learn against Vexed or against Existence? This is a perfect opportunity.
You can still practice tactics. You can still try your execution. Yeah. The point is that this game is that if they lose this to Dignitas, there goes the whole plan for them. There goes their entire little alliance, 4-team alliance to bring back into the Danes. As soon as the Danes win this, they get control again. They instantly turn it to put Astralis up against G2, keep another free kick, then they put Vexed against a Dignitas again. That gives them another turn moving forward potentially, and then they can get them all down to about 1 life before they lose any. Whereas if they lose this, the day's out of control, then they have to fight back in. So this is a mistake. This isn't anything practiced.
I mean, you actually have a point in a sense that...
Don't sound so surprised.
No,
We're all
no,
surprised,
it's
Alex.
like we from here, we do not know what's more important to Fnatic. You know, how much do they actually care about winning the whole tournament or winning the game? Maybe they just wanna, because Dignitas, as I said, are really good on cobblestone. Maybe they wanna practice it against them. So from that, if that's the way they're thinking, then it makes sense. But just looking at the veto process, you're trying to win. They would probably ban out cobblestone and try and play something else.
And I can't be the only person that can't see past you. Raised it already. Olaf, when like, it was only like 2 rounds in a row, 2 consecutive rounds, but it just looked so easy. He walked into B and just made the entirety of that game feel redundant.
It's how it's hard to doubt them to a degree. Like their T side can be really good when it works, but it wasn't working until then, right? It was like JW didn't have that presence that he has towards drop. There was no big hits coming out towards the B side at all. Happy double AWPing eventually kind of hindered everything they were trying, and it did come down to that one thing. It was MBK sitting in drop with that P90 eventually that really made it hard work. But Olaf does have this kind of high skill ceiling that he can go to if they need it, but it's terrifying. But Fnatic seem to have this way of just playing right on the edge of something that could be a really bad choice, but then it always seems to work out well for them.
I mean, that was really good by Olaf Meister, of course, but that's not something you can rely on. I mean, Fnatic players were joking about it after the game, tweeting that was what they called in timeout. Olaf, now go kill them, please. Okay. But that's not, as I said, that's not something you rely on. Yeah, you send him there with a plan and with hope that he's going to be able to create some space for your team, but you can't rely on that every time, right? So especially Config is also really good at playing that. He's the player who has first contact towards that B platform area, so sometimes he's boosted up, sometimes he's playing close, and he has been good at playing that spot.
Absolutely, but the other thing about this whole ordeal with Fnatic yesterday was that they were gifted a CT side, and the fact that Apex and Kiyoshima, I think, had like 3 kills maybe the whole first half. Like, that's insane. That's never going to happen. So the entries here, even for Dignitas, you'd expect better than that, even if they're not as skilled players. So that means that does put a little more pressure onto that T side, the execution. I think Olaf is a player on this map that you can rely on to get heavy frags, but maybe not that level of fragging. But that said, I think they're also going back to the old days when people weren't as established on Cobble, when they weren't playing teams like Dignitas who were using it as sort of a wild card to get in against these top teams, and they still think they're better than they are on this map. I don't think their execution is actually as sound on it as they think it is.
Yeah, and I mean, Dignitas, yes, we're hailing them as Cobble being one of their best maps. In fact, you opened the day yesterday by saying this is their best map for Dignitas. However, I'm looking at that 16-14 G-bots. Can we not, how much can we read into that? Or is that just a case of, okay, underwhelmed, underestimated, counter-stratted? Like, is that the kind of the read for this game against that result on Cobble?
I don't know. Like, looking at the couple of rounds that stood out to me as to what maybe were the issues was only on really Dig's T side that stood out was the kind of the approach to the game that they as everyone knows, they like to play ahead of the smokes on maps like Mirage, and they were trying to do that a little bit on Cobble, like taking it out towards the sides, trying to take those initial fights, but they were just being outdone. And, to be fair, everyone noticed by the end of the day that a lot of these Spanish teams have got some pretty sick aim that came through that maybe surprised them a little bit, and it does end up spiraling, and obviously the economy system does kick in eventually, but it did seem a little lackluster, and I don't think anyone with the mentality that maybe Dig had going up against the Spanish teams yesterday, will even come close to what they'll have the mentality-wise going against Fnatic. It's a very different matchup, it's a very different game, and a very different opponent.
So let's start now with the predictions, and we'll kind of be intrigued to see where this goes, because this is one of the first games of the day where we actually could potentially see a little deviation. I don't know. Is it still looking good for the Swedes, Janko?
I mean, I would have to say yes, simply because it's Fnatic, right? Even though it's it's Dignitas' best map and everything, Fnatic is really, really hard to stop on any map. So I am going to stick with them, but this is the best chance Dignitas has of upsetting Fnatic.
Yeah, I'm saying like a 16-14 to Fnatic. I think that they do what they do best. It always looks like a close game until those last couple of rounds, and then something comes into practice. So I think it's going to be very close. I think this is a good shot for Dignitas, but they need to bring the absolute best. Whereas Fnatic, Config's been a little quiet. He even seemed really frustrated on Twitter yesterday, saying, I've had a really bad tournament so far, not having the best of game show. It was Mirage. He got completely locked out of that B side. He had no variety to fall back to. So for a player like him, he needs that confidence. So hopefully for him, he finds a good game here and they can win off the back of that, maybe.
Matt?
I mean, look, picking the obvious choice is a little bit boring.
Thank you.
Think Fnatic's in this.
Sorry.
I'm sticking with the Danish duo. Puts mad pressure onto Config, like you said, on that platform to play that correctly. Because Fnatic's not scared to push through smoke, so you better have another answer. You better have a way to kill them. I mean, and MSL with the AWP, because he was a little bit off yesterday with it in that position.
Another thing that goes Dignitas' way is that on Cobble, I think we touched on it briefly yesterday as well, there's not as much room for city-sided aggression as there is on some other maps. And that's what Fnatic uses really well. When they win that pistol round, when they get off to a good start, they just start abusing you all over the map until you make them stop, basically. Until you force them to stop by, you know, shutting them down. And on Cobble, there's really not as much room for that play.
You can boost in the drop to get the early
which MSL was doing, right?
Yeah.
But will he have the guts to do it against Fnatic, who do punish that really well? You've got JW flying down there with anything he can get to his hand, so it starts becoming... Exactly, it's like...
Fnatic's actually really good in the first about 25 to 30 seconds of a round to watch all those angles. So even pushing out A long for the early pick, usually they're going to have someone watching it. They're going to be ready for someone to be a boost no matter what. Even if they think you're on an eco, they're going to be they're going to check the angle no matter... They've even gone for that back boost where you don't even go up the stairs to check it. You boost yourself so you could boost to see the other side of drop. So they do lots of little things. You didn't give me a chance to do score. I'm going to say 16-13 Dignitas, to be specific.
Well, I mean, it's obvious that we are seeing this game being a close game. And while we do have some extra time to talk about it, we always highlight Dignitas as being like a young roster. I'm looking at 17-year-old Kirby and along those... I mean, Tensky's pretty young as well, at least he looks it. These guys are all... Well, that was a jab. I just don't know his specific age. The dude looks young. That's all.
All right.
I'm allowed to say that.
Keep it going.
Keeping it going, I have to quickly rush this question. It was just a question of, you know, maybe his age plays into it. When you've got young players like this, so all of a sudden you get this additional pressure. People are saying you're good, and then you don't perform. I know when I was 17, I'd take that to heart. I'd take that a lot more than I would now.
If you look at age to be the experience, there's a really good analogy that Ken Robinson does with education, where he talks about how the creativity is taken away from children, and they're learned to not. They're basically conditioned not to make mistakes, and then you're scared to take chances. So if that's the case with these young players, they're always taking this aggressive style, but as soon as they get punished, they stop doing it. So that can happen in this game.
All right, well, we're going to jump into the game, I think. It's time to see Dignitas versus Fnatic. This is going to be a close one, there's no doubt about it. It is on Cobble. And it's my pleasure to introduce your casting duo. By the power of Grayskull, it is going to be Henry and D-Man. It's He-Man.
I like it.
I like it. That one actually worked. I wondered where he was going with it, and I was like, I get it. But, okay, Dignitas versus Fnatic. We knew it was coming. We expected it to be coming. But it's on Cobblestone, and it's a map that Fnatic last lost to Dignitas on. Albeit 3 months ago.
Albeit 3 months ago, so it's difficult to take too much away from it, but it was a map obviously Dignitas struggled against G-Bots on as well. So we saw Fnatic play Envious yesterday. It was actually Crims for me as one of the standout players for Fnatic going forward. Towards that side area, he was getting kills all over the place. It was absolutely ridiculous. It was actually really cool to watch. Config, we've talked about him having a difficult tournament so far. Seems like he hasn't really been stepping up to that star level potential we know he has in the locker there. He's had a little bit of a frustrating game of Mirage yesterday, that's for sure. But definitely this has actually been really cool. I like Dignitas' approach to the T side, especially on this map. They're very good at dissecting the map, smoking off towards middle, getting long A control, and then they're more than happy to fall back to B once they push the CTs back to the bomb site. The thing is, Fnatic aren't going to be so fooled by the smokes. They're not going to be such a passive team that allows them to do that so much. So expect to see some really crazy moves from the likes of JW going up towards middle, making things happen, and it's going to be a really exciting game, I think. It's going to be one of the best matches today, if not the best.
And while it was close, 16-13 with Envy yesterday, we shouldn't forget that Fnatic actually were 10-1 up at one point in that game. And then they just sort of took the foot off the gas. Kenny kind of did some craziness.
They won their CT half 11-4, which is normally like a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, it's like done.
You're not going to get back into this as a T-sided map, but somehow Envious won the pistol, and they kind of slowly but surely got themselves back into it, and they actually leveled things out, and then it actually got to the point where Fnatic took their classic pause, and all of a sudden, Olafai said, do you want to go kill everyone? And he's like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
I'll just push it up the platform and kill 3 people twice in a row, basically, and got them straight back into it. And that was what really annoyed Envy. You saw them walking off after that game yesterday. It's like, what the hell are we just doing?
Yeah, how did we lose that game?
After doing all that work to get back into it, we lose it like that. It was actually kind of heartbreaking for them. So we have had the knife underway. Looks like Fnatic will be starting on the CT side, as we mentioned before. They had such a strong godlike performance yesterday against Envious. Can they continue that form today? Pistol round coming in. We have seen a lot of aggressive rounds from Fnatic on the pistol. Let's see what they bring to the table this time.
Will it be the strain armor? No, there is going to be a kit coming in. Okay, so we're going to have Crims with the kit. So he's going to be the sacrificial lamb kit and nade. No armor for him. Everybody else, standard stuff.
Looking like a B approach coming in here from Dignitas. I've got 2 smokes as well. means you can smoke off towards tree and the connector and explode onto the bomb site with the flashbangs. They've got a Molotov as well, sometimes used for chicken coop.
Look how far Olaf has pulsed out on A. He's gone all the way out on long A, so he's managed to get all the information. They're absolutely aware. Okay, B hit coming in. Everybody actually sitting fairly passively for Fnatic there, just getting a glimpse around drop. That's going to be a big tag on Flusher, so he's backed away. Got himself in that rock position, but MSL opens up the first headshot on JW as they push on around the side. Gets himself the second on Flusher. Can he get a third? Doesn't matter. Rubino comes in, and site control is in the hands of Dignitas.
Get that first pick. Molotoving players out of position as well. It's going to be Olaf and Crims on the retake. Have got a kit, and Olaf opens it up. Takes that one. Could get the bomber as well. He manages to do it. Goes down to a 2-on-2, and Fnatic back in full control here.
Flying headshot from Olaf Meister. But the bomb is down. Kjærby and Config. Kjærby going to try and go for the rotate, but Crims is maybe expecting this one. Crims has got the kit, remember, so still kit in hand. They have time to run this down. Olaf Meister's the man that's trying to find a kit, trying to find a pick. Crims, all he's got to do is try and challenge, but he's got to be pushed from both angles. And now Olaf Meister's got to go huge. He finds the head of Kjærby. Can he get the fourth of the round? Config. There's no kit, remember, it's all the way over on Crims' body. He has to find Config. He's trying to edge his way back around. Needs to get on towards that kit. Config just going to dance around the statue, delay things. The clock is ticking, the new bomb timer, but it's not much longer left. And Olaf Meister, all the will in the world, cannot make him come out on top in this one. And he will have to back away. Config even going to try and challenge him down drop. He's got the kit.
He's making his way
There's
towards
no
the
time.
connector. No, it's okay. So he's going to get towards the A bomb site here. He knows he can get the bomb down. He's plotted towards Olaf Meister in that drop down area. And now it all comes down to this. Who can hold on? I don't think Config was aware. It actually seems like he is. 10 seconds, and now Olaf in a very strong position here. As the bomb does go down on the A bomb site.
It's got the timing perfect. Oh my God! Second mid-air headshot from Olaf in the round. 4K. That's all you needed to do.
That is why he's the best player in the world right now. That style from him was absolutely sick. He starts the round off, he's pushing long A, he's getting behind him, it's looking like MSL has done everything that was required from Dignitas. Initially the kill right there, that first one, oh my God, Rubino, take a chair, because you just got absolutely wrecked. And who comes in and a 2-on-1, Olaf Meister, another sick shot there towards drop down and wins the 1-on-1. And that's going to be so disappointing for Dignitas there. They did everything they had to. It looked like they had a perfect situation.
I mean, we joked about it, didn't we? We joked about it. All they need to do is send Olaf away, and sure as hell, round number one, that's exactly what happens. Fnatic, all in the plan. They knew it, that was going to happen, but Dignitas with the SMGs, JW can collect himself a whole lot of cash here if he can deal with his Tech 9s, and he will. Perfect stuff.
Simple round here for JW, just farming the cash once again. The bomb has been dropped. Config will chime in with the Desert Eagle and take one down, but not really much he can do with this. Flusher wants to end things as quickly as possible, and he does it with impeccable style as well as he takes down the last two remaining players. We did see the bomb planted from Dignitas in the pistol round, so you'd assume the AK's coming out this time. It's going to be a full buy coming in. And we have potentially a pause coming in. We've got a JW calling over for Graham to come around and inspect what's going on.
Everybody says, I don't know why.
Don't know why. Come have a look.
I'm not going to pause it, but Vugo wants you.
Okay. Well, he's the coach, obviously, so we're not going to stop the game right now. There's a slight issue, but AKs against Famouses and UMPs here. Huge round for Fnatic. They can take this. It's such a huge injection of cash for them going forward.
So, Dignitas slow things down as you would expect. AKs, not a great deal of utility, as you mentioned. Just a couple of smokes down there. MSL. This is going to call his troops into action here.
This is the round where they'll put that smoke towards middle CT side and try and push the CTs back together, getting control of long, that middle doors as well. And there's the smoke coming in. And then this is the point that CTs lose a little bit of vision. But as I said, Olaf Meister doesn't normally go for that sort of nonsense. He'll be happy to push through smokes all day long.
Perfectly timed flash as well. He was just going to get the little glimpse above the top of the smoke there, and the flash came just to clip him perfectly. But Crimson Olaf, they're going to back away. JW's dealt with Rubino, who was the flanker, trying to cause them problems on B side. And that may cause Dignitas to adjust a little bit here. Flash catching MSL and Config perfectly as they were about to peak. And JW, a single flash on Tensky, so they're going to have to go blind here. As I say that, I think the idea was Olaf managed to flash JW in, but instead caught him. So a little bit of mistiming, but it doesn't matter. There's the bomb. And JW has the information. Config's head just gets taken clean off. Olaf and JW doing the work.
Looks like Fnatic are starting in fifth gear. Really impressive first go around there. They're actually up against it in terms of the equipment they had. Famouses and UMPs. It was JW gets that first frag. And like he said, they go to flash Olaf in towards middle. And actually flashed his own teammate. Didn't really matter. JW still picked up the frags. And they knocked Dignitas now back down to an eco. Going to be P250s and a Tech 9. So they can justify. Flush actually yesterday on Cbble was more than happy to use that UMP in gun rounds where he could afford a rifle. He loves playing that drop down area, having the run and gun potential and the high armor penetration. He's doing some very strong work with that in previous games.
And we saw Flusher running this UMP against Envy
Yes.
quite a lot in drop room, so it works out very well for him. It's the perfect sort of angle for him. A lot of damage on that weapon. Just find those heads, and of course this is Fnatic just culling Dignitas here in the pistol round, as you'd expect. Not a great deal they can do.
Just going to be config remaining now. He's stuck towards middle. You see Crims seems to have a strong idea as to where he may be. If he can just pick up one frag here, it at least gives him $300 to work with next round to see. Should be able to pick it up. Unfortunately not. Crims finishing him off. Another very clean round there for Fnatic. The cash building up very nicely indeed. You can see 2 players on 9k, and another buy coming in for Dignitas. It's going to be a decent one as well. They're actually hitting 4th stage of loss bonus now, so AK's full utility, and we'll see what approach they take next round. Haven't showed too much presence towards the B-bomb side and gun round yet. It's been all about that mid control, but Fnatic completely locking them down that last round. Now it looks like more of a B approach coming in potentially.
Well, Tensky's the lone man to distract over on A site. Meanwhile, the rest of the team going to push in towards B. Rubino trying to get a little lucky through the smokes, but nobody's showing for him. Olofmeister actually creeping through. Down towards double doors. Tensky is just above. You can see lurking above there. As the smoke dissipates, Olof just waiting to see if he can catch a glimpse of any shadows there. Tensky trying to see if he can get lucky, but the flash from Olaf will force him back.
This is the position I was talking about with Crims. He was so strong towards long A yesterday. Going to be there by himself today. Has a little backup from Olaf towards middle, and Crims is going to decide to opt out of this round for now. On the other side of the map, we do have Dignitas going in towards drop down. It's going to be Flusher waiting with the UMP. Can he make this work?
He's so close to finding those heads. Crims as well. He's going to get towards Kirby. Flusher does get MSL in drop room. Crims has been cleared out by Tensky. And that's going to open long A up, and that's going to force Dignitas a little rotate. Rubino continuing to try and distract, but you can see JW just tucked in that corner, waiting for the flash, waiting for his team to help him out. Dennis is the man that's with him to give that call. He's got the little slither of pixel. And the second he catches a glimpse, JW will pop out and find the heads of Rubino and Config.
So they have got flashbangs, Dignitas. 30 seconds remaining. Need to wait for their teammate Tensky to join them, and you surely but surely will be making their way out onto the bomb side right now through the smoke.
There's the flash. Here's Dennis making the call. JW, so disciplined, just holds. Time to turn, time to fire. Manages to get themselves one. Can't get the second, but it will be Config. And Dennis with a refrag makes it a simple 5 in a row for Fnatic.
Just finding frags early on every single area of the map there. We saw Flusher once again with that UMP, somehow making that a very viable weapon in that position. He seems to get a headshot every single time. For me, they're not really locking him down with enough utility there. They could be smoking off and molotoving below themselves and using grenades. They're actually just facing it straight up cleanly and getting punished for it as well. Crims facing towards long A, finds that first frag as well. And it's a pretty simple hold for Fnatic to hold things off there. But it's going to be maximum loss bonus for Dignitas now, but without getting the bomb plants down, it doesn't really help you out too much going into these next rounds here. So Crims opening things up, and he should have a couple more here as well.
Bit of grenade damage on Olofmeister. Okay. He is still in and around there, and he's causing a nuisance. He finds the drop from the bomb there. Kirby, JW giving him the cover. Olaf backs out, and now it's a real tricky situation. Rubino around the back, can't get the stab onto Flusher. And now just one man remains. Tensky all the way over on long A, a mile from the bomb.
It's going to be 6-0 in favour of Fnatic, but the good news is for Dignitas, they get a really strong buy going into the next round. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe potentially brought out an AWP. They need to kind of change things up a little bit. JW warping now as well. He finds one frag. It's a pretty clean distribution. Look at the cash for Fnatic. 3 players on around $13,000. JW only affected slightly because he bought the AWP. And a Negev coming out for Flusher. Okay.
You'd have thought someone would drop for Crims to try and equal things up. He's on 600. Everybody else is like a Negev.
They just dropped one of those.
They did just throw a Negev on the floor. And there is a Negev in CT spawn. Maybe it's just like Dignitas. If you can make it here, there's a Negev for you.
That's kind of crazy, but I guess it's just showing him. He probably thought, you know what, I'm going to show them complete zero respect here. His teammates probably talked him out of it.
He said, no, get that P90.
Come on, yeah. If you can have fun with the other guns, but that one's a stretch too far.
Well, we've seen MBK doing it a couple of times on here, actually. It's a gun that works in the right place at the right time. Drop could be where it is. He normally takes the Kraken there, to be fair, when he's on the T side, so it wouldn't be too much of a switch up. But MSL getting the opening frag on Olofmeister will put Crims under a bit of pressure. He is the solo man on A side, waiting for that rotate to come, but it's not coming just yet.
Well, they do manage to get the first pick onto Olofmeister now, so they have that control of long A. This is where Dignitas are most deadly. They're very good at showing proficient fakes towards this bomb site, and they have decent takes of it as well. So be interesting to see which decision they make here. JW with the AWP, he's on the upper platform towards the B bomb site. We've just got Crims there defending solo, potentially against 4 players here. As Dignitas will be showing their hand any second. Rubino just showing presence towards drop down, but will be joining, so you'd assume this will be an A-sided attack.
Yeah, Flusher's made a fast rotate, so he's going to be just dropping behind that APC in the perfect place. He has only got that P90 though, remember. Could have had the Negev instead. He's going to have the Deagle, but Config will find him. Crim's in the corner. He's going to be flushed out here. They've already know exactly. They're pre-firing the position. Kirby will take him down. Now JW gets dropped by Rubino. Dennis, the last man standing. The first round for Dignitas is imminent. Unless Dennis can pull off a miracle here as MSL creeps on through. He will get one. Could even possibly spin and get the second there. Config was low, but Rubino will drop him. And Dignitas, well, they dropped Olofmeister very early in that round, finally take the A side.
Well, there we go. It all came down to that first pick onto Olofmeister. It was unreturned by Fnatic, and Dignitas getting in there. That's when they're at their best, like I said before. Once they get full control of middle and long A, they've got a very good execution on their side, good refrag potential as well. And this is what I'm talking about. Flusher, even though he has more than enough money to get in force, is just...
drop the up for JW as well.
And he just keeps going with the UMP, more than happy to bring that, and why not? If he's being so effective with it, you can't really argue with it, to be fair. So, round number 8, once again, Dignitas setting themselves up for that mid-control. We have got Olaf and Crims working together, that tag team duo towards the A side.
Look how deep Rubino's playing on the minimap right now. He's like all the way back, almost in the T-spawn. Whether there's something in there that he's expecting someone to push on through, I don't know, but he did that the second round. I was keeping my eye on it, and there's nothing really shown from Fnatic that they're going to be hyper-aggressive and go for that boost. But he's being very patient and sitting right back into his spawn.
There we go then. Going towards long A once again. The flashbang will come in. It's going to be Crims to defend. A very tight, close angle here. The T's waiting for the reaction. It's going to be Crims to do a little bit of damage. Unable to land the first kill, and it's going to be Kiabi that capitalizes and brings the man advantage once again in favor of Team Dignitas.
Olaf on the rotate. The man to try and hold them back. Got himself a nade. 4 members of Dignitas, but they're going to split 2 and 2. 2 on long, 2 on ramp. JW's made the move with that AWP. Could shut down MSL and Config. You'd expect the flash and the smoke to be the first to go out there, though. As Kirby holds the angle. Olaf's actually gone in. He's moved. He's just transferred position. He's going to catch them off guard. He manages to get the spray down. Couldn't quite get the second on MSL, but JW will. And that will cut it dead. Rubino, though, on the rotate. Could try and get the backstab here. Flusher not looking. Now he spins around, gets the UMP, manages to spin on the head. And, well, Dignitas trying that rotate, but it's been read so easily by Fnatic. They're going to be in position waiting for Config.
That's the thing. They have 10 seconds remaining, and they're just being Molotov out the side as well. I think it looks like they will be saving this situation. So, really nice play that we saw. Olaf was going to get a double there, but only managed to get one, but did so much damage to MSL. That was pretty much round over that stage. They pick up the first frag with that UMP. And that was the rotating player from Rubino, who's hoping that he could do something with that AK. Unfortunately, he got completely wrecked with the UMP, and then we saw not enough time for Dignitas to do anything with it. So they do save 2 AKs. The money was reasonable from the last win, so although they were reset, they still have a decent buy coming into this one. 5 AKs and full utility once again. JW back towards the AWP. I haven't seen any crazy aggression from him so far. It's been quite, in terms of JW, it's been quite passive game. He's just been playing towards that upper platform, rotating back towards A. He hasn't had to do anything out of control just yet.
Yeah, they haven't really attempted too often on Flusher either in drop. It's been a fairly quiet area. They continue to keep probing and prodding on long A. Crimson, Olofmeister. JW just getting free time to scope right now down over B. Nobody challenging him. Rubino again sitting very passively all the way back at T-spawn.
Yeah. We'll see what Dignitas have in store for us. Once again, more of the same. Can they get the first initial kill onto Crims this time?
Doesn't look it. Crims finds the head of MSL. The nade landed at his feet as well. Config will answer back the quick trade. But Olaf's flash on Kirby and Tensky at long A will delay them once again. Dennis made the rotate. He's in the back of A site now. So it's a 2-2 split for Fnatic as Dignitas try to get something working against Fnatic here.
They still have a reasonable smoke grenades. They have 3 of them as well. So they're mid-execute. Definitely still possible. I think this will be the one where they actually go back towards the B-bomb, so they'll show heavy presence with the smoke grenades. Dennis now trying to play just in front of that smoke. Seeing if he sees any grenades come through, and Olofmeister towards the top of mid secures another kill.
Config's pushed through. He's at the top of the round, but he hasn't managed to make any leeway in yet. Kirby does. Olofmeister holding the perfect angle. Oh, drop just as he's about to take the shot there. Does spin around instead, and Tensky will drop him. Now JW, the last man standing, gets himself one onto Config, backs away. Bomb plant goes in, and JW happy to save and give Dignitas the round.
There it is. It seems like Dignitas can capitalize on these entry frags very well. It was Olofmeister at the top of middle. Although he managed to spray down one, wasn't in a great position, stood very much in the open, and gets punished straight away for it. It's Config picking up 2 frags. We discussed him having a difficult game yesterday, well, a difficult couple of games. It seems like he is stepping up in terms of the gun rounds here for Dignitas. It's going to be 7-2 now, but still a long way to go. This is still considered a very T-sided map. Config leading the charge on 6 kills on the other map. On the other side of the map, we have Olofmeister with 11 after that fantastic pistol performance and he kicked the game off with. So JW now trying to save the AWP. Should be able to do that by the looks of things. And we'll have a look at the money for CT as well. Still high rolling here. It's only going to be Crims that's affected slightly. And he actually got the first opening kill there and then got taken down, and then Olofmeister had to step up. Unfortunately, got traded equally. And JW, I think, got us a shot through the door. That's secured him another frag, but not really much footing to do much with it.
And Dignitas, while they are generally a CT-sided team, didn't have the best of performances on the CT side before, but this is an interesting split. 3-2 split for Fnatic, and they're going to read this wrong. They're expecting an A hit, but Dignitas are piling straight out towards B side already. It's Dennis and Flusher. They're going to try and keep them at bay while the rotate comes, but is it going to be quick enough? Rubino finds Dennis. Flusher in drop will get dropped by MSL, and Fnatic already backing away from sight. Dignitas will take themselves around here.
That's actually a really sick call from MSL there. The fact they've showed so much A presence almost every single round for the last 5 or so, and now they just mix it up completely. You saw the adjustment coming from Fnatic. It's actually the perfect call. They've sent 3 players towards A this time. It's JW going for the aggressive face towards middle. They've rushed B, and they just get the entry kill there, and there's only 2 players waiting in B, and this is not even an option. There's not even a window of opportunity here to retake. So Fnatic going with the safer bet here, keeping 3 players alive, but it's another clean round for Dignitas here. And that's going to be 2 in a row as well. Not going to damage the money too badly. He's chipping away though slightly, but Fnatic just making sure they keep the money true here with 3 players alive.
Yeah, and the way they're exiting as well, I think they're somewhat surprised that Fnatic didn't try something on the site there, because they'll be sitting on still fairly decent money. They had built up a considerable bank, so they can afford to buy back in and drop a couple of weapons off, so they're not poor yet, but Fnatic chose instantly to back away. Very early call. But 7-3, Dignitas hunting down those T-side rounds.
You know what? It wouldn't surprise me if Dignitas just did that again. This straight up brutal. Get in there, do the same thing, work so effectively. Probably won't be expecting it twice in a row. Let's see how they decide to approach this one. Looking like 5 players are committed to the B side of the map. It'd be interesting if they actually do just go for the straight up double B rush here.
Well, Dennis at JW trained up. That nade could land on towards Rubino, but Rubino's pushed on out. He's on platform, just flashed out. Dennis is going to try and tuck himself in the corner while JW holds that angle, expecting someone to go looking. The flash, the smoke, it's working out well. Rubino going to get caught out, but JW lands the shot. Dennis was found out in the corner, but there's a wall of smokes down from Dignitas to just cut off Fnatic from sight for now. Plant will go down from Tensky, while MSL tries the rope-a-dope. MSL's the man that's going through drop room, trying to get around the back of them. Config's found himself one on JW. And now they have the perfect cut-off, the perfect angle. Config finds one, MSL gets the second, and Olofmeister, the last man standing. So well executed by Dignitas there.
Yeah, perfect round for them. Going towards B once again, this time changing up a little bit, making it a bit more interesting. Smokes, Molotovs in all the key positions, coming out, getting the entry kills. You saw JW pushing through the smoke there, trying to take the bomber down, but unfortunately didn't land the shot there. So that's actually going to be 3 rounds in a row now for Team Dignitas coming to life there. Oh.
That's a no-no.
Kind of awkward if your brother and sister in the kiss cam comes in. I feel like that could happen. So let's hope that's probably what's happened. Anyway, round number 12. As we go into this one, Dignitas back on a full buy. You can see Flusher now opting after so many UMPs will be on the CZ this time. 3 M4s and JW back on the AWP. He's been relatively quiet in terms of the opening frags here, but we'll see what he can do now. He's towards the top of middle. Once again, Dignitas going back to their standard. Get towards long A control, smoke off middle, and then they have many options from that position.
Crims and Olaf in the position. Crims flashed up, Olaf got the support. They will have time to back themselves around the corner. Crims is in stairs at the moment, just holding the angle. We'll get MSL, that's the bomb spotted. Kiebi will get the response, but the bomb now position is known. Fnatic on the rotate. Not going too heavy into this one. Dennis is just going to cover off the back there. But the rotate from Dignitas could be coming out. Rubino was still sitting all the way back. It's an interesting position. There must be something they've read in Fnatic's play that expects that backstab constantly. Or maybe in straight disrespect. But Rubino's just been sitting back in T-spawn awaiting somebody from Fnatic to push through, and yet no point that they've shown it.
This is the thing, when you get those opening kills of the terrorist team, the CTs always are going to react. It's a difficult map to actually push into the tunnel. There's so many different positions here, but regardless, JW does spot 2 players towards the middle, somehow takes down Config. Kjellby drops as well. This is just a flurry of frags coming in. Rubino's going to be the last remaining player, gets legged up, and now it should be a simple round here for Fnatic to finish it off. He hasn't really got many options here, and that's going to be it. Dennis takes him down, and all of a sudden the round's turned on its head. It looked like Dignitas had that one tied up, approaching it perfectly. But Fnatic finally bouncing back after a 3-round deficit.
A double CZ from Flusher there.
Yeah,
double CZ up close and personal at long A. Yeah, why not indeed? And that's the response they needed, because Dignitas was just starting to wrestle control. And Fnatic's economy would have been in tatters after that round, but no. Shut down. And once again, Dignitas back to the drawing board, figure things out, and immediately Fnatic take that response, get themselves perfectly set up, smoke out Dignitas, and run the clock down.
It's interesting again. JW could have dropped Flusher or Famous here, but he says, you know what, I can just kill people with the CZ all day long. I'm fine, don't worry about me. So he's going to be on the pistol. 8 plays 4 now. Fnatic do win the first half. Grim's going very aggressive. They should be punished for it. As he takes down Tensky, Kjellby returns straight away, and this actually gives them the benefit here as we go into round number 13.
Rubino pushes forward. Bomb makes its way over towards B site. Flush, as you mentioned, just with that CZ, sitting in drop room. And JW alongside him with the orb. So while there's a lot of potential firepower from JW, it can be controlled if they were to get these smokes and mollies. 3 mollies set up. There's one going into drop. It's Flusher's going to be the target. Not going to show his head just yet.
Surely can't do this again. This has got to be the time to take him down with ease.
Here we go, Flusher. The dot reads the flash well, gets one, but the trade will come through. And now JW forced to back away. The smoke again pushes forward on the smoke, goes aggressive. Why not? Kjellby turns around and manages to get the response, but it's a 2-on-2, and the bomb plant still yet to come down. Kjellby will go for it as Dennis and Olaf try to take advantage of that slight moment of hesitation. Kjellby gets himself a chicken coop. Dennis just at drop gets a perfect angle. Rubino expecting the backstab, but it's not coming, and Kjellby's in an awkward angle here. Could get flashed out. Caught out of position, Rubino's found, and he will get the head. Kjellby with the response, but now his position is known. Olafmeister pushes him, but Kjellby holds, gets himself 4 for the round, and Dignitas get their 5th important round of the half.
And you know what is even more important? They've actually reset Fnatic there as well. After winning 1 and losing the subsequent round, you're only getting $1,400. It's a huge clutch by Kjellby. He's had a great season so far in 2016, and he continues here with another double kill to clutch the round. And it's going to be 8 plays 5. We have 2 rounds remaining, and now I think this is a full force fight coming in for Fnatic, you know. So they're going to be going with Max 7, CZs, Desert Eagles, but never discount them on this round. They can be very deadly and have a huge surprise factor.
It's Crims that's going to find them. 4 members of Dignitas all lurking around that smoke. He's going to find the first one. Surely can't manage to land the headshot on towards Tensky. Olaf with the rotates. Easy. We saw how dangerous it was with Flusher picking up that quick double. Dignitas aware of that, not risking it in the smoke, but the shots through the smoke will work in Dignitas' favour. Olaf will drop, and now it's a 3-on-5 with that Max 7. They're going to go for the boost for drop.
Not really many options here for Fnatic, like you said. The boost coming in, but going to take an absolute miraculous performance in JW to get more than 1 frag there. Dignitas going to be opting to stay together, 4 men towards the upper platform. We have got Tensky that's patrolling the top and middle here, so perfect setup for them so far. They are going to be smoked out for now, but still plenty of time. They don't have to commit to this and push through just yet.
JW still boosted, remember. He's about to drop around the side, gets himself 1, can't get the second. Could have been lethal. Dignitas had just taken that moment to turn around and check their backs as that final smoke dissipates. Flusher does have a kit in hand of the CZ. We've all seen him getting that double, but this time you'd expect Dignitas to be a little more vigilant, and they will check their angles, they will check the corners. Rubino gets himself the kill. Dennis the last man with a deagle. A hope, a dream, a prayer, anything he can do. I think he wants to try and save that head armor, if anything.
This is the thing.
And the plant will go down.
He's one of the best pistol players on the planet right now, but I think this is a stretch too far even for him. It's a pretty efficient round so far from Dignitas. Only MSL's been dropped, and Dennis just seeing if he can get an inch here, just anything to work with to unleash the Desert Eagle. And unfortunately, it's going to be Rubino to take him out. We're going to round number 15 now, but Dignitas, after the initial deficit, they were, I think it was 6-0 down at one stage. They have fought their way back and at least made it very competitive indeed. We go into the final round, and once again, Dignitas setting themselves up here for potentially 7. You can see the buy once again is going to be Pistols and a max 7, pretty much identical to what we saw last round.
Yeah, because Fnatic forced in that last, they're forced to just go straight back at it. I mean, it's almost identical buy from them, that max 7 by JW. And Dignitas going to do the same again. They're expecting Fnatic to be aggressive. They're going to sit at long A and say, sure, come at us with those pistols. We are ready for you.
Well, so far so good. They're not going to have much presence Fnatic towards that long A area, so the default approach from Dignitas is going to work out very efficiently indeed. Molotoving off the key close areas there. No crossfires to be found as they slowly but surely make their way up towards long A. It's going to be Crim's waiting for them, but like we said, only a CZ in hand.
Efficient stuff from MSL there. You see him checking every single little nook and cranny as they work their way through, expecting to find a wild Olaf jumping out at them. But it's not to be. They're still working at it. And Rubino's still sitting very deep. Done every round. So I very rarely see that in the round. So on the B side, it's normally the guy that would just be up close and platform, just keeping an eye on it. But there is a 3-stack here for Fnatic. Potential for an upset.
Yeah, definitely. Smokes come over, and now Crim's poised, ready. He knows what's coming.
He's going to pop around with that 5-7. Can't manage to get it down, but he did a lot of damage. Kiebi down to 25. Dennis will respond, gets himself one, but it's quick response from Dignitas. They read it well, they were expecting it. The Flusher will manage to get himself round though, picks up one, collects the AK. Now in a 3-on-2, can he get the second? No, he can't. Kiebi, very proficient for Dignitas, and they will get themselves the 7th round on the board. Have they just bought themselves a reprieve after that 6-0 start?
I'm impressed by the calling from MSL. Like towards the end, when you get that 6-0 deficit, it's very hard to stay mentally focused and work out what you have to do going forward. They showed so much presence towards the A side of the map, taking over middle, taking over long A, and then you remember they mixed it up with those B rushes and those B executors. Just really nicely done for them. And towards the end of the map as well, or towards the end of the half, breaking the economy fully of Fnatic. They kept force buying and almost gifting them a couple of rounds towards the end there. So 8-7, considering the deficit they encountered at the beginning, that's actually very respectable. And obviously what we saw yesterday, teams can bounce back from this all day long. There's no reason why after Fnatic win the CT half, they can struggle on their T side as well. We saw it against Envious.
And remember, it was Olaf with the 4K in the pistol. Nutty round.
That was absolutely nuts. Yeah, you have to talk about that again, don't you?
Yeah, that really brought them back into it. I mean, they should really, Dignitas should have won that pistol. I mean, they had it
true
down in their hands, but a couple of flying headshots. Why not?
Yeah.
So it works out for them. We'll see whether they can do it again, Dignitas. As the time ticks down, it's yeah. I was start thinking, why is it not switching sides?
I guess.
Okay, they're talking. Okay, Rubino is just saying Dignitas are having a chat about it.
Yeah, that is making.
There we go, ready now.
Take advantage of the maximum 2 minutes you get in the half, but big pistol coming in here. It's going to be CT side now for Dignitas.
I mean, this is a massive game for Dignitas themselves, not only just for this tournament, but for like their careers-wise. They are just on the stepping stone of starting to reach those top echelons, and this is a real proving ground for them.
Even if they win this map, the Danes are back full control. This actually puts them in an amazing position going forward. It's been the French-Swedish line all day, and Dignitas with a real solid chance. It's going to be 5 sets of armor for Fnatic on the T side here, focusing towards middle until they be an almost very aggressive and fast take here, you feel.
Yeah, 3 of them coming through A. MSL and Tensky pressured. Dennis is going to try and challenge, and he will manage to get the headshot down. Flusher was the roaming lurker around the side, but Dennis finds another on MSL. We were talking about his pistol prowess before. Rubino can cause some problems here on Crims. Tries to get him around the side, but he can't manage to finish him off. That's the planter down. Kiebi also getting the shot there, but Dennis is not cleared out just yet as he gets the 3rd. Can't get the 4th as Kiebi takes him down. He gets his 3rd of the round, and Olaf, the last man standing, gets fine. Kiebi with a 4th, and we were talking about Olaf with his 4 in the first. There's another 4 for Kiebi.
Yeah, like I said, Kiebi having a fantastic 2016 here. Another big round for him. He picks up 4 frags. It was Dennis that opened things up here. Like you said, amazing pistol potential. He picks up 3 kills, but unfortunately not enough. I don't think they got a bomb down either. So we're going to be going into the 2nd round force buy here from Fnatic, where they can cause so much chaos with this. Haven't got any utility to work with. It's going to be Tech9's head armor and that scout on towards Dennis, interesting enough. And they will be focusing towards the B side of the map with Olaf Meister quickly pushing up towards long A, just trying to show some presence here and hopefully find the player out of position.
So Rubino's going to tuck in just on the platform. Config with that scout, taking it to Coop. While obviously Dennis with a scout of his own, he's going to go look and see if he can find some picks up the ramp there through A. Olaf playing with the smoke. Has got that Tech 9, he's the raid boss. We've seen the damage he can do many, many times over the years with this setup. And it's MSL that he may well challenge.
Nothing to exchange just yet. You can see MSL and Tensky waiting. They can probably hear some footsteps going on as Dennis does retreat back from middle with that scout. This could be a perfect face.
Tensky, going, looking, getting a little impatient there. Flashed in. Dennis just backed away at the right moment. So no information. They didn't actually see each other. Gathered from this one, but now we see Fnatic 4-stacking. Dennis, gets tagged up heavily down to 9 health as he backs away as Tensky goes for the second peak, does get the kill on towards JW. Olaf was picked off at the top of long A by MSL, and this attack being muted as Cbble finds Flusher as he pushes through window. Dignitas should come out on top here. A little pistol from Cbble to finish things off, and they do hold the second round. It's such an important hold for them.
Yeah, we really have a game on our hands now here, Lee. The fact that Dignitas has survived that second round force buy, and Fnatic on the T side, this could actually get really interesting. It's going to go right down to the wire now. We can see Fnatic won't have much to work with this round. There's maybe some P250s, that's about it. And this should be a very comfortable round for Dignitas. Number 18 here, we should see them just staying back a little bit more passive. Maybe we can spot towards the top middle of the start, see what's available. MSL will be doing that. Let's spot a couple of players there. And actually committing to this, kind of interesting, but
a little too heavy there. Tensky took a big bite there, but MSL, nice cleanup. Can he get the ace? Just one left to go. Playing it patiently. Doesn't go risking it a little too much there on Flusher.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't get too excited there. It was hardly the most impressive spray down of all time. Pretty simple procedure for him, but 4 kills regardless. It's very efficient at least. So it's going to be 10 rounds, played 8 in favor of Dignitas now.
Is Config going to hold on to that scout? That's risky.
Well, Dennis is apparently going to be bringing auto shotgun to the party.
Okay, why not?
So it's normally JW and Flush that bring the interesting weapons.
He switched it to an M4. I was going to say, holding on to a scout coming into this round would be very risky.
The auto shotgun is definitely a weapon they've used in the past in this map, especially towards that drop-down area. And they will be swapping it over. Flusher, definitely the cheesiest player in CSGO, I would say, but he makes it work.
Yeah, he was bringing the auto sniper yesterday, wasn't he? There we go, Config getting the opener onto Olaf. That was aggressive stuff from Dignitas there, challenging B platform. Doesn't often work out in your favor, but it's put a halt to Fnatic's proceedings. Rubino Config expecting a push. There we go. They're going into drop there. They come through window. Flusher, Dennis all piling down there. Dennis does manage to get himself one. Can he get the second? Config holding them back as much as he can as Crims pushes around platform. And Dignitas with a solid hold on B site.
Absolutely. Very simple B attack coming from Fnatic, splitting between the upper platform and drop down there. They needed that auto shotgun to make something happen for them. Unfortunately, did get taken down, and it's a pretty strong hold from Dignitas. Only dropping 2 players as well, and the rock continues. We see a pause coming in. So, judging at this point, I'm not sure what kind of pause it is.
Tactical.
Tactical, okay.
From Fnatic.
Considering their money right now, it's a kind of a strange time to take one on. Obviously, maybe working out if they want to take a force buy with this, or like normally when you take a pause just before you go into your next gun round, just so you can actually, that's the round you've got a higher percentage of winning and how you're going to approach it. But they're opting to take it now. We talk about the Fnatic pause as being almost legendary. And in CSGO, every time they seem to take one, especially yesterday, they did it against Envious once again, coming in with that Olaf adjustment. But not really much money to work with this time. That's why I find it a little bit confusing as to why they take it now.
Yeah, I think I was trying to have a glimpse at Fnatic there. It looked like Vugo was doing the talking behind them. You couldn't see anyone else in the team doing the talking. So the coach giving some input. Realising, guys, this is a dangerous situation. Likelihood is it will be 12-8 at the end of this round, and Dignitas on their CT side are looking pretty solid. I mean, the B hold is the real tester. That last round was the real test, litmus test, I believe, for them and Fnatic. Even with the smokes down, they got challenged early, and Dignitas certainly proved their mettle there. And you know what, for me, something we were talking about yesterday was Config. He has only got 11 kills, but it doesn't matter. He in that round then, they were the kills that counted. And this was the real test. We were talking about how he's crazy online sometimes, and Cbble also showing up. Cbble has been absolutely insane in this game so far, 20 kills for him, but it seems to be working for Dignitas. The players are turning up. They are a very young I wouldn't say inexperienced, but they're not anywhere near on the level of Fnatic, the veterans, as it were. A young team, tested.
Well then, they do go into this round number 20. There's a partial buy coming in for Fnatic. They've kept their money at around $1,600, so they still can buy next round. You can see them once again heading towards this mid area. It was MOCL that punished them.
They forced.
Well, they've kept 1,600, so,
Okay.
So they're a maximum.
Yeah, that's okay, yeah. So it's Deagles and armor. There is a fair bit of head armor in there as well, but no smokes on B at the moment. There we go. Can say it's just gone back down there. Olaf was getting a little peek. Here we go. MSL's going to flash Dennis. He gets pinned in the corner. There's no way out for Dennis in this one. He's going to have to go down. He's going to get a second challenge, and Crims, well, I think he was expecting Tensky to give him the cover fire there, but it didn't quite come out, and he does manage to get picked off. Fnatic doing the damage. JW pushing down long. Tensky's got to watch his flank here as he gets pushed from both angles. But Dignitas hold them back with the rifles.
MSL, the players that dropped so far. It was Crims that picked him off there, and now they're kind of working out where's going to be the next logical step for them. The problem is without a single bit of utility here, it's even difficult to face up a platform here. You can see Config will have full reign of this area if they were to go there.
There's no one checking drop at the moment, so that's why Config's having to look at both angles. Gets tagged up pretty heavily. Doesn't manage to land the spray down, and Olaf will push on through. Can't beat Rubino though. Holding out on Statue. Just 2 members left. Cbble with the crossfire. There we go. Just Crims remaining now. It should be clean-up time for Dignitas. And a question asked of them. They respond in kind nicely. 12-8 Dignitas. They've got a 4-round lead over Fnatic coming into the final few.
It was actually kind of scary for Config. He should have done better in that situation. Needed to find one, but the fact Olaf picked him off and they even got to that bomb site. It was lucky Rubino stepped up so massively, but yes, we go into a very important round here. A change of pace actually, because Olaf Meister, for the first time this half, has picked up an AWP and he's gone glass cannon as well. So obviously has something up his sleeve as to what he wants to try. Looking towards that aggression towards middle, seeing if anyone will give him anything to work with here, but it's going to be quite a passive hold from the CTs. You can see one towards danger, and then player MSL once again just holding those mid doors. But he's smoking out Olaf for now, so not really many options for him in terms of working a pick.
A lot of smokes down over on B, expecting something on the platform. Cbble actually being fairly passive in drop. He's just outside the window and waiting, so he doesn't want to get caught out by maybe one of those Mag 7s, or we saw the auto shotgun earlier on.
Yeah.
Could easily be a quick headshot kill. Rubino, Config all sitting back, holding on boost. Flashes out. Not a great deal of smokes left to play with here.
This is the thing, they're just trying to bide their time as much as they can, bleed the CTs out a little bit. They get control of drop down here as well. Crims and JW just waiting to see if the CT will be facing them whatsoever, but they're going to have KRB waiting on the other side. He can hear shots being rattled off. He's going to have backup coming in as well in the form of MSL.
Yeah, MSL at window, Kirby in drop, and there's the final smoke going down. I was hoping, they're just trying to find a pick. 35 seconds on the clock now. Time is running out, and Dennis and Flush are about to move out on the platform. Rubino ready and waiting for them. Kirby will get taken down in drop. Rubino is now being pushed from both angles. He spins onto Crims. There's one actually dropped through. Dennis has gone to the side, but he's been dealt with by Config. And Dignitas hold strong once again. It's Olaf Meister with the AWP. Glass cannon. All he can do is hope. And for some reason, we're not showing the game. Rubino will get the final kill anyway. God knows why we cut away from that one. Production, they need to sort themselves out.
Yes, well, to be fair, it was a foregone conclusion at that stage. We saw there was one player remaining, Olaf on the glass cannon AWP, didn't really have much to work with, but it's Rubino stepping up on that tree position, just dodging and weaving, locking down the aggressors. Cbble the drop first, looked like Crims finally got Fnatic back into this game, but now the rock continues. It's actually 6-0 here in the second half. Dignitas firing on all cylinders, and another force buy. This is the force buy now from Fnatic. They've got Galils and little utility, and Flusher with no head armor either. They're going to be struggling in this round. This could be very influential. Dignitas get to 14-8. This could turn the whole tournament on its head. This gives Danes full control, and Fnatic wondering what the hell's going on here in the second half.
Well, we cast our minds back to the analyst desk when Yanko was talking about the map choice, and he was like, why? Why did they go with Cobblestone? Maybe it was a challenge. Fnatic felt they could take Dignitas down on anything. Give us your best and we will beat it. But as it is, they are in desperate, desperate trouble. They need something from the likes of Olaf, like he pulled off against Envy yesterday. They need some of those crazy plays, somebody to find some moment of magic and maybe it is going to come from him, but at the moment he will get shut down. Tensky with the spray down, can't manage to land the shots, but Kirby will come into the rescue once again as he gets himself a double. He comes around, Flusher will get taken down. Finally the kills come in, but Rubino in a one-on-one versus Flusher. He's going to get a spray down. Flusher comes out on top, and just 9 health was standing. Flusher hangs on, and Fnatic pick up the round.
That was a huge round as well. Rubino so close there to finishing things off. He gets it down to a one-on-one, and this kill could have gone either way. It was so close. No one really landing a sick shot or anything, but this round's still very important. You can see after losing 4 players there, Fnatic, they are going to have a difficult buy once again. Galil's and a scout on Olofmeister, so change of pace there. MSL will be picking up an AWP himself. He hasn't been running that weapon. He actually gets taken down to 10 HP. He's the one that suffers the most from that exchange at the top of middle. Olofmeister landing a decent tag.
Yeah, double tagged up. Had to back away. Now they know that MSL's likely to be low, and he's actually switching positions here. Kirby's going to rotate, so Kirby and Tensky now going to be holding the A site. MSL's going to push his way to statue. Well, Fnatic push. They've not actually been successful. I'm trying to think one round where they've gone into B site.
Well, they've been getting the picks. It just hasn't been very efficient. And speaking of picks, there's a one from MSL, the player. He got tagged down to 10 HP at the start of the round. It's a very influential kill on towards Flusher there.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that's the only round they got on the CT side so far, and it was the spray down. They haven't actually got a single plant. No, not a single plant on the T side yet from Fnatic. Incredible stuff from Dignitas so far. We talked about how strong they are as a CT team, but they are stacking out. There's 3 members of Dignitas over on A site right now. They're expecting the A hit. And Fnatic at the moment still, I think maybe because that AWP hit just came from MSL, they're expecting, okay, they're probably not going to go for it. Crimson's got himself tucked in tight here. Config not quite going to get an angle on the gun there. He's got an inkling that somebody's in close though.
Oh, here it comes. We hit the final stages of the round. Olofmeister trying to show his hand towards A. If he can find a pick, it gives enough distraction. Unfortunately now, the T's forced to do the big execution.
MSL and Kirby on the rotate, but JW has managed to find the shot onto Rubino. They're pushing in. They haven't dealt with Config in the corner yet. He's in and around statue. Crims will finally find his head, but look at Kirby coming into the rescues again. Crims desperately trying to get a plant down. He does not quite get there. And still, Fnatic yet to get a plant on the T side. Incredible.
And that's the full reset as well. 14 plays 9. Fnatic really limiting their options there. They're going for the force. PG50, CZs, Team Dignitas now touching distance and taking this game. This round would do it. Getting to 15, there'll be no money left on Fnatic.
And the politics are going to get blown right open
Absolutely.
Here. This is going to upset things. Astralis will be playing next. I'm almost certain of it.
Thanks to spend what you'd assume, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean you've got to think. Okay, let's keep alive. But maybe they throw themselves against G2. Maybe they think they can knock a life off them, but let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. It's 14-9 and Dignitas putting on a show here on Cobblestone. Kirby, Rubino cut down Fnatic as they try once again valiantly to enter the B site, but Dignitas say no. Match point in their hands, 15-9. The team that struggled yesterday against G-Bots on this very map look to take down Fnatic.
The thing is with Fnatic, right, they rely so heavily on this very simple play towards B, just getting into drop-down room and then splitting it up and working just purely on frags. The fact they don't have these kind of wall of smokes or the crazy executions, they're not really employing those right now. The Dignitas got a couple of rounds where they haven't got nothing to fall back onto. With Dignitas are holding so strong like they are now, they're just kind of so far behind in the utility and the equipment. Going for a fast mid push here. It's going to be MSL to kick things off once again. Gets the first kill onto Crims, bringing them 1 man closer now. 5-on-4 in favor of Dignitas.
Olof's got around the back of Tensky, does manage to take him down. JW through window with the Kraken. Locks down Kirby. And Fnatic are not done just yet. This surely has to be their round. Rubino coming around the side. Config all the way around the back, miles away. And Fnatic with an absolute shoddy buy still managed to pick up a round. Dignitas a little undone. This will be the first bomb plant, incredibly, for Fnatic in this half. 9 rounds in.
This is the thing. Fnatic are the kings of comeback, Lee, so anything could happen. They were gifted this round. Shouldn't have been going their way, to be fair, but somehow JW finding himself in such a perfect position with that sawn-off shotgun. Comes down to a 3-on-1 config. No real option to do anything with this. That's really trying to save a weapon here with a little smoke to hold him off. But there we go. Somehow Fnatic staying alive here in round number 25. We said this one will go all the way, and with Fnatic winning that round, you feel like this kind of revitalizes them. It seems to be a common trend for them. They just need a round like this to work with, and then slowly but surely, they can get themselves back into this. We're not done just yet.
So, Dignitas can afford to buy right back in this one, as now can Fnatic. They can trade a couple of those weapons across. Olaf will be gifted the AK. But match point still stands. Dignitas, can they close it out? I hate to bring up the whole choke in theory, but let's got a couple of rounds before we get to that one.
Yeah, they're still very comfortable right now.
It's going to be a fast play. Olaf's actually going to get out quickly onto platform at B site. He's already out. We saw him doing this against Envy, but they can't manage to land that original shot onto Config. The nade will not force him. And he doesn't have the angle. That smoke working actually in his favor against him. Config does land the shot. No magic from Olaf this time around. Crims called into action. He finds himself one. Cbble tucked in around the corner, been so magnificent for Dignitas, but he gets caught out. Config, though, is not done yet. He pops around. MSL gets the kill. Quickly traded. JW back in action. MSL holding the angle, but Dennis gets in there. And Fnatic in a 2-on-1. Tensky with it all to do here as they push on around the side. JW not going to get him. Dennis gets the plant down. Doesn't matter. Backs away from the plant and it gets caught out with a headshot, but JW reacts. And you see Cbble with a sigh there. 15-11. Fnatic still go. And Dignitas have to save.
Olaf Meister going in for that godlike play again in the upper platform. When you think Config gets him, you think that's it. They won't have any chance to get back into this, but drop down room is where Crims comes to life, finds 2 frags. It comes down to the one-on-one, and Tensky can't quite get them over the finish line just yet. It looking like another round going in favor of Fnatic here as well. It's going to be a full eco coming in from Dignitas, and this one just gets more and more exciting here as Fnatic take another.
And Fnatic, if they can start pushing the pace, start putting the pressure down. Look how many nades come out. Look how dangerously, tentatively they approach it. They don't want to get caught out by those pistols. That would be the worst way to close out this match. Cbble trying to challenge, but JW not having any of it. Gets himself a second. Rubino will get dealt with as well. And Fnatic do clear out those pistols with safety. It's 15-12, and a pause comes out from Dignitas.
Good time to do it, I think. Before this gets too dangerous, like you said, it's not going to choke territory just yet. It's getting to the stage where we still have 3 rounds to play. We have decent cash right now. We have like 4,400 average across the board. So do we invest into this one, or do we wait until we have a really strong full buy, AWP, all the grenades, and then we can get back into this and just finish this off in style? This is the decision right now. Looking like they will be going for the straight up buy. So Cbble is the first player to invest. He's gone for M4, a smoke, and a flashbang. That's what I'm talking about. They've got a distinct lack of grenades. They don't have the incendiaries. He hasn't got a kit, so that's going to be a common theme for the rest of the team here. So this is where this timeout's required. They've gone for the, I would say, riskier investment, but looking to finish things off right now.
And honestly, more importantly, for the young team that is Dignitas, I mean, we've got the adrenaline flowing. They must have it absolutely pumping through their veins right now. You could see Cbble jiggling about in his chair. They are hyped right now, and they need to just keep that adrenaline, just calm it down, keep their focus. And you could see MSL was just taking a few moments to just talk to his team. He's like, guys, come on, we got this, we got this.
Well, this is the perfect time to do it. Like I said, get everyone calm down. Let's discuss how we're going to approach this round, what it's going to take to push us over the finish mark here. Now the buy does come in. It's 4 M4s, 1 Famas on config, and he's the only player with a kit as well. In terms of utility, they have full smokes and 1 incendiary. So not an optimum buy, but it's definitely decent and one that could finish this one off. JW changing things up. All of a sudden now Fnatic are in the driving seat. They've got the AWP, they've got the full AKs, the full utility, and it seems like there's certain players are coming to life as well. We have got JW on 20 frags, looking to continue things here as we go into round number 28. Here we go. 3 more required for Fnatic to bring it to overtime.
And I'm so happy Config's gone for that FAMAS and all the utility. So often you'd see them forcing for the extra rifle and just having no utility in there at all. But look at Fnatic, they're looking to try and speed things up. Their Config will be in position. Backs away, make sure he doesn't get caught out by that spray through the smoke, because Olaf does get a good tag onto Config, but he takes a lot of damage himself. He's down to 22. The re-smoke comes in, and the trades back away as both teams calm it down, let the smoke clear. JW hoping he can get something. Scoping in drop room. That's not an unusual spray as Rubino pops in, gets a couple of shots onto Crims.
There we go, and Flusher just patrolling towards the top of middle here while his teammates try and get some sort of opening towards a B bomb. So it's going to be Config with that Famas taking down to 39 HP. He's still on the platform right now, trying to see what he can do here. JW trying to scout him out. And we go into the final minute of the half. The round, sorry.
The molly in the corner trying to flush them out, but nothing coming. JW desperate to get a pick here. Config Discipline tucks into the corner. Rubino at statue. Hop in. JW is going to have to land an absolute miracle shot. He doesn't, but he gives his position away, and Crims will find the head on Config. Kiebi and Rubino immediately back away. Go passive on this one. Flusher up close and personal on Kiebi in this drop room. This is a battle that Kiebi must win out as Fnatic start to take control of site. The flashes from Dignitas are on point right now. It's halted Fnatic in their tracks. They were all 5-man stacked in one position. MSL comes around the side. Kiebi gets the tag. MSL with the reload comes around, gets himself. That's the bomb carrier. Dennis goes down. Up close on JW with the CZ managing to catch it, and Kiebi gets taken down. And it's 15-13 for Fnatic. Hold on once again. Dignitas are forced to make the decision. They've got 3K. Do they force or do they hold and risk overtime?
This is going right down to the wire there. Just an equal exchange of kills going either way there. Dignitas just can't find the last couple of frags. They did everything they could with that limited buy. And like you said, they will be going into round number 29 here with Desert Eagles and CZs. Got to be keeping around 2K in their bank account, so they will have enough going to next round as well. It's 4 in a row for Fnatic. Somehow they pulled this one back out of despair. And this one should be going in their favor as well. We will be going to 15th place fourth. Here's a lovely shot from JW on the B-bomb side to open things up.
Last time they faced each other on Cobblestone was in November, and it went to overtime then. It was 1917, I believe, in the Star Ladder qualifier. And we may well be heading there again as Fnatic look to close out this round quick and easy without losing a man. Tensky on a long rotation. MSL trying to pick a weapon up, but JW with a CZ unwavered as he gets himself another. And 14-15, we're going the distance.
We really
Dignitas, my God. At 15-10, you felt they had it. You felt it was in the bag. It was all going so well. Look at the hold, look at the board. Look how many CT rounds they picked up back to back. But Fnatic's great CT side has been answered by Dignitas. The question is, can they close it out?
Yeah, they were actually up 8-1 at one stage, Dignitas, and now they're coming in to the final round of regulation time. Fnatic definitely in the driving seat, but as I said before, maximum loss bonus, and Tensky picking up the weapon does boost their things slightly as well, so they will be going into the final round with a maximum buy. It all leads to this moment here. Can Dignitas finish this right here, right now? And will Fnatic somehow, at 15-10, get his back into overtime?
Oh, the Scar 20 comes out for Rubino.
Oh, that's a big play.
That's ballsy, is what it is. We'll see if it works out for them. Fnatic going to try and switch things up. They've been aggressive on B for round after round, and they may try and catch Dignitas off guard here as MSL and Tensky may get pressured on A side.
It's going to be long A control coming in from Fnatic. It's going to be incendiaried off for now, so Tensky just holding them at bay, but he's in a difficult position. If he does get faced here, gets dropped, it's potentially the round over as Fnatic now deciding against it, being smoked out of position, will be just rotating back towards middle.
It's a good switch as well from Fnatic because Tensky and MSL have had nothing there for 5 rounds straight. And they may get caught out with a little aggression. Trades back and forward, MSL getting tagged up, but not taken down. As Fnatic rotate once again. Smokes are lacking now for Dignitas, but they have the mollies. There it is, the last one's actually gone down, so now they're out. They're out of smokes, they're out of mollies. They've just got flashes to work in their favor on B side.
Pressure comes down to Rubino now. He's going to have a plethora of players on his screen any moment now. Flashbangs are coming in, and here we go.
Flush is going to be the first around the corner. Olaf Meister to follow. Krim stacked up, JW in drop. It's Rubino that's going to get smoked. He pops out. He doesn't manage to land the shots. Config will, though. He pops around the side. He's got to find another. He gets Dennis's head. He backs away. He finds Crims. Can't get the kill. Oh, and he takes him down, but it's MSL and Tensky now on the rotate. Tensky through the smoke. MSL's on a massive rotate at the moment, and Olaf Meister is expecting him. He's going to tuck himself in the corner. As MSL, he's not looking. Olaf will find it. Tensky now the last man standing. He tags one down. It's a 2-on-1. Bomb plant goes down. JW with the AWP lines up the pixel shot. Tensky with plenty of time. He's got a kit in hand. He has time to make the play. As Tensky comes around, he knows Olaf Meister is here. He knows it. Oh my God, Olaf has come out on top.
What on earth has just happened here? Dignitas looking like they had this game completely tied up. It's somehow Fnatic that have pushed this to overtime. It's a full mental reset. Fnatic now definitely in the driver's seat. You see the disarray on the faces there of Dignitas.
That's a pre-fire opportunity.
He knew he was there as well.
With 12 health.
This is nuts. How has he not got that kill? I think he just shot him through the wall.
Took
did
him
like
to
8
4,
damage.
yeah.
And then that was it. Wow. So Dignitas probably want to take as much time as they can there. You can see they're not happy with this. Still need to just pick themselves up, dust themselves down, and realise that they can still do this. They had such a strong CD half to kick this off. It was 8-1 on one stage, and it's just towards the end of that half. Somehow that, I think if you remember, it was like pistols and a sawn-off shotgun. They got Fnatic back into this game somehow. We thought, okay, well, they've managed to buy another round. We don't think we'll get it back into this. But somehow Fnatic, time and time again, the kings of the comeback, do it once more.
I mean, what do you do right now? I mean, as Dignitas, they've just lost 5 rounds back-to-back. They were doing so well. They were in cruise control. Fnatic hadn't even got a plant down in 10 rounds on the T side, which is incredible in itself.
And they even took the pause as well. Dignitas took it at the stage when it was actually still quite comfortable for them, right? And they weren't letting it slip out. They took the pause, and then slowly but surely, when we said Fnatic can do this in any sort of situation, and it was a fantastic performance there. Just making it, every round was never clean cut. It was always very close, but Fnatic just scraping through every single time, coming down to lots of 1v1s, 2v1s, and they hold on here. We go to overtime. I'm not aware of the format. Is it MR3 or MR5 there?
It's MR3.
Okay.
10K MR3. But, I mean, the tension you can feel right now, you believe this is like a world final. The way they're both playing this.
Well, we just know so much is on the line in terms of the format of the tournament. If they were to win this, Dignitas, it goes back, their alliance comes back in today. It's been all about the French and the Swedish alliance going forward, but this has been one of the best games of the tournament so far. And as we can see, MVP Olofmeister, I think that could be true on a lot of occasions in this series so far, making a lot of things happen. It looks like Dignitas are being asked to hurry up. They are obviously taking a lot of time to kind of mentally reset themselves. It's going to be very frustrating for the younger players. This is where a real test of mental fortitude going forward. Obviously, you need to forget about what's just happened and concentrate on the task ahead.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Good luck, have fun, exchange. The players are ready. The teams are ready to go. It's MR3, 10K, and Rubino has just picked up a scout.
He's going to have to say stop.
Yeah, cancel, stop. Hang on a minute. I made an error, guys. I made an error.
It's a bit cheeky.
Yeah, let's go again here. There we go.
Should be punished for that, but they are going to give him the restart. There we go then. That's maybe showing the nerves a little bit. Clicking on the wrong reference. But there we go. Dignitas now. Obviously staying on the CT side. The problem is with CT and this format, MR3, if you lose the first 2 rounds, you're buying AWPs. You actually will be in a difficult position in the 3rd round. So let's see how this one goes down. It's going to be an AWP on JW. Same story for MSL as well. Fnatic now definitely feeling a lot more confident. They've reset everything after coming back from their massive deficit.
Oh, this is a nice read from Fnatic. Look at Dignitas. They've stacked out 4-1 split. Tensky's left alone, and Flusher and Dennis are already piling through long 8. MSL was all the way over there. Cbble, who is by far the MVP for Dignitas so far, is forced to be called into action. Dennis tries to find him. Tensky up close and personal, but he's in no man's land as Dennis and Flusher double team and take him down. Cbble tries to respond, but Fnatic are in sight already. MSL and Config work their way through the door, but JW will land the shot and force them back. And Config, I think he's just going to try and hope they can get something here, because Fnatic have just brute forced their way into sight. And Dignitas totally misread that situation.
This is the thing. Obviously, Fnatic so famous going towards that B bomb site time and time again, and making picks happen. And obviously, we saw Olofmeister causing that kind of destruction yesterday. Dignitas have opted to put 4 players in there, leaving Portensky towards the A bomb site. He gets taken down, and it's just textbook play for Fnatic, waiting for the rotations coming from CT. JW takes down the connector player, and then it's just a complete rot from that point. Dignitas, like I said, need to save the weapons here. Although it's overtime, you think 10K is a lot, that slowly chips down, and they'll find himself in a difficult position in round number 3 if they were to lose the next. So this is definitely the right call. Fnatic not even dropping a single kill in the 1st round of overtime here.
Especially on the CT side as well. I mean, everybody bought kits that time around. I expect probably CT, these 2 just sticking with the kits, but Rubino has been taken down. And now it's just Cbble left.
They're
going to hunt him down. They know he's going to be in and around here somewhere. He just holds steady and lives. 16-15, Fnatic take the lead for the first time since the 1st half.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Well then, you can see MSL goes down to $50 here. This is exactly what I'm talking about. If they lose this round, they're pretty much on an eco. So, massive one here. And you can see, once again, it's going to be Flusher And JW working towards mid area. Very aggressive play. JW is going straight for the smoke. This guy doesn't seem to care, but he's getting punished for it. Will he be taken down? He does. MSL gets him through the smoke and the door.
Config in the smoke as well with Olaf. Olaf managed to find him round there, and Olaf comes down on top with 9 health. Somehow he survives once again. And just as the damage was done by JW, it's undone over on B side.
There we go, 4 on 4. Olaf Meister's still down on 9 HP here, but the CT's in quite a passive game. And the CT's still with so much time to play with. They're just going to be dissecting the map a little bit here. Olaf Meister smoking off towards middle and seeing if he can get control of this position. Does pick up the AWP as well, so he wants to try and work a pick here. No AWPs for the CT, so this actually could be an interesting proposition for them.
There's no smokes left on Dignitas' side right now, and with a minute to play with and just 2 flashes, both of them being actually over on A side, so no flashes or anything. This is just brute force defending from Dignitas this time around from Cbble and Rubino. So short on cash. Flusher looks around long A, but it's Olaf and Dennis with the bomb. Olaf actually is going to be the distracting force, as he so often is over on that B site.
He's by himself now, so he's going to try and get this pick, or the rest of his teammates. As soon as it happens, you'll see the explosion onto the A-bomb side.
Tensky left alone. Oh, he can't manage to find the pick. That nade will miss its target as well as Rubino backs away, but it's pulled 3 members of Dignitas onto site, and Tensky's left alone. He's going to be shouting, help, 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 but it doesn't matter because Kiebi's been picked off. Tensky, though, is the man to watch as he gets picked off on A site, and Fnatic will get themselves another plant. Rubino and MSL on the rotate here. They're going to have to come across from up. Rubino has to peek, but look at Fnatic. They're trained and ready. And it was a clean one in the end. Fnatic just losing that single man, JW, at the start.
This is the thing. I feel like they're way too defensive there, Dignitas. The fact that Olaf Meister with 9 HP can once of all face the upper platform, find us to get out. We're not even being contested. He takes a kill towards drop down. It pulled away so many men from that A bomb side, and you saw Paul Tensky at the back of the A side there, unable to do anything with it. And like I said before, we began this first half of overtime. You can see Dignitas now with little to no money. CZ, a scout, and an M4. This is looking like a 3-0 in favor of Fnatic.
Oh, JW actually walking into each other. MSL, both with CZs out, nobody finding each other though, and they will back away. Config over by platform has got Olaf and Dennis in the smoke. Are they going to creep on through? He's on the box. He's in an unusually wide open spot, but I think if Olaf bucks away, he will catch a glimpse of him. Kiebi boosted, trying to get a couple of shots down onto Crimson, but not going to work out. Meanwhile, Config not able to land the shots onto Dennis. It's starting to become painfully evident for Dignitas as they slip away from this game. They have a whole lot of work to do on the T side now.
Absolutely. Well, still have 5 players alive here. 1 minute remaining. You can see, once again, only have 1 smoke grenade remaining. That's going to be on Rubino. He's actually currently towards drop down. Config looking to potentially be baited in here as Rubino does face that area. Olaf Meister just so scary in this position. You just feel like it's not a matter of if he gets it, it's when he gets the opening kill.
Just every little position, just check, check, check. No, that one's clear. Gets a little glance of something. Checking the little angles, checking the rock. Just a couple of shots off, but it's going to be Rubino that opens up the account, but it's quickly answered by Dennis as he gets the double. Tensky with the scout, gets 1, gets 2. Suddenly Olaf and Dennis taken down. JW and Flusher on side, but Kiebi and MSL, they're on the rotate. They're coming around the side. The backstab's coming in, and suddenly Fnatic are in trouble. JW with the AWP, forced to back away. Bomb completely cuts away from him. He has to try and stop the defuse, but he can't. It's on the fountain. It should, the statue, sorry. It should get cleared out easily. And wow. Tensky with 3 kills with the scout saves Dignitas on the CT side there, 17-15.
Looking like they had nothing in that round whatsoever. Opening kills coming in from Fnatic. Bomb going down safely as well, but it was all down to Tensky with that scout, making things happen and kissing through the smoke there. Nice work. I like that one. And it's going to save Dignitas there. They couldn't have gone into the next half of 3-0, but 2-1 is workable. They switch over now to the terrorist side. And we'll see what they bring to the party here. Looking at the buy, once again, Flusher with that UMP, and there's a double AWP setup here from Fnatic.
Well, Dignitas did manage to get going eventually on their own T side, but it took a lot of work. It took a lot of time. Crims and Olaf over on A site were pretty key in the defensive work. Olaf just got a glimpse of One passing through there, I believe, before the smoke bloomed. As he hops and skips. Meanwhile, Crims, no rotations coming out from Fnatic, no expectations. Rubino being a little bit more aggressive than he was last time. He was incredibly passive over there, wasn't drawing any attention to B site, but this time he's rattling a couple of shots off, trying to keep them busy.
Very standard stuff so far from Dignitas. We saw this in regulation time over and over. Getting Tensky in that long A position, looking like they're opting to go back towards B. They've taken the vision away from the CT's elites and keeping them guessing as to what might be going on towards long. Rubino and MSL just giving themselves some footing towards the B side. It's a boost on the actual side though from
JW is boosted up, I think. Yeah. There's the meat in the sandwich, Dennis. And JW boosted up on statue. We saw this the other day, actually. It's run down, but it's going to be drop room, their challenge. Flusher comes around with that UMP, gets the spray down, only gets the one, though. JW immediately has to back away, but switches his angle. That's giving Tensky and Rubino a chance to drop in. Nice flash onto Dennis there as Cbble and Config burst into sight. Olafmeister, though, gets one, gets two, spins around. Config pushing him on rock there. Will finally catch him out, and Crim's the last man standing in a one-on-one versus Config. Plant goes down. Crim's forced to wait for the smoke to clear. Oh, he challenged!
What? That's a really interesting face from Config there. Didn't have any intel whatsoever, just went for the open face, didn't know whether Crims had picked up an orb, he had no information there whatsoever. Goes for it, just as a surprise play, he's hoping he catches Crims with his pants down. Unfortunately, it's Crims that capitalizes, and that levels things up here.
Completely was not expecting that, I've got to be honest. And well, I guess nor was he, because Crims had that angle perfectly poised. And all the work that Dignitas just did, completely undone.
Ripped apart by Olafmeister to kick things off. He got 3 orb frags from close range angles as well. And look at that 1-1-1 was very realistic for Dignitas there. They'll be feeling the heat now. It's going to be 1 round required for Fnatic here. Double orb setup still there. Flash it back on the UMP. And you can see more of the same from Dignitas. Getting that mid control first, pushing the CTs back. And then deciding how they'll take the approach from there.
So what will Dignitas do to change things up? Rubino's backed all the way to that position again. He does this almost every round against Fnatic. So passive. Maybe it's, I don't know, it's something that's clearly something they've seen that pushes him all the way back to that position on T side. But Dignitas this time going to try and make something happen on A side. But Fnatic, they've already got a 3-stack here. Dennis has got himself tucked in the corner. Crims is there. Olafmeister with the orb. Everybody ready for Dignitas. This has got to be on point. Olaf misses the first shot from APC there, but second one misses as well, and now he's getting challenged from close range, and Cbble and Config do land the shots, but Dennis in the corner has got himself a shot down, but he can't manage to land it, and JW suddenly wondering where his team disappeared to. Will get himself the one on the exit, but that is all, and Dignitas hang on. For now, 18-17, as JW starts to make it expensive for Dignitas.
Well, they might as well try and hunt him down and see if they can do something with this. Cbble coming in the back now, but that's a full A execute going in favor of Dignitas. Once again, getting the control of middle, using the smokes over and just swarming the bomb side towards middle and long A there. You can see how effective the flashbangs were. We had a player towards cannons that couldn't really do anything whatsoever. They just got dropped as soon as they made the one to the bomb side. There's 4 frags coming in so quickly, and now JW trying to save the AWP as he sent Tensky now trying to hunt where he may be. Should actually survive this. Looks like they're not going to be checking his actual position as they are rattling off shots towards Chicken Coop there. And JW will be saving his weapon. So there we go. Dignitas do manage to do something here and get their first round of the second half of overtime here. It's going to be 1 required to keep them in it. All Fnatic to take this one and take the series.
Full buy for Fnatic, of course. Dignitas last time were forced to try and stretch anything, but will we see double overtime? Dignitas go about their business once again in a similar fashion to the way they have on the T side. Fnatic themselves very much default.
Indeed. Boosting JW up on the upper platform, it seems.
No smoke this time down in ramp, so Olaf's actually going to get a clean shot on MSL. There we go. Okay, Dignitas forced to smoke it themselves.
Yeah, they normally just jump over the smoke and they come through. Flash comes in, and he still doesn't have much info, but he does spot Config there on the other side, so at least they are aware of the positions. And Dignitas once again going to be getting control of long A. But 3 players there for Fnatic waiting. Dennis especially, poised in middle, going to be trying to be baited in by Olaf here.
Yeah, this time Dennis switching position. He was deep on A last time. He's going to be up close. I wonder if they're going to go aggressive. Like you said, I wonder if they're going to flash in and maybe take that peek. MSL actually with Rubino took a challenge, going towards JW. JW on platform, challenging it. It's going to go for a second peek on the AWP shot here. Does try and take it through the flash, but doesn't land it. And MSL and Rubino realize it's a bit of a risky play and back off. 44 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, they're going to be going back to the A-bomb, so it'll be exactly what we saw last round, full execute. They've got the control they require, but there is 3 players with Fnatic here. It's going to be a bit more challenging as the first phase comes in. It's only a leg shot from Olaf Meister.
Doesn't manage to catch him, but Dennis has not been read here. He manages to get one in the trade. Olaf should be able to get the second on Cbble as he backs into the range, and he will manage to land the tag. And this is what was missing in the last round. Olaf missed those 2 crucial shots, but now it's a 2-on-3. Config and Rubino have to do something big here. Rubino finds one on JW, but it's Olaf up close with the AWP. Tries to get around on the planter. Config gets it down, but Olaf is not being tracked at all. The smoke blooms in. Olaf could just walk in and defuse here. Flood doesn't matter. Flusher finds one. Config has to go huge here. Keep Dignitas in it for double overtime as he sits around it. Why he jumped and challenged over the smoke on Flusher. I have no idea why he didn't go for the play, but it's 19-17. Fnatic pull it back from 15-10 all the way through overtime and take it 19-17.
Got a feel for Dignitas there. They were so close. You can see them looking a little bit deflated right now. Such an epic performance from them in the second half, getting themselves in touching distance, they're taking it, but it's that somehow the eco from Fnatic that kept them in it. They kept going in the overtime.
The Kraken.
Yeah, well, yeah, that sawn-off shotgun somehow unleashed. Oh, you've just got to feel bad for the guys. It seemed like that was a foregone conclusion, just a matter of when they were going to finish it. But there it is, Fnatic there. Config left on the 2-on-1. He said, like, he's in the smoke, but the thing is, they knew exactly where he was. He needed to try and gain some intel and see where they were set up. He jumps up and obviously punished for it straight away. And Fnatic there, they're showing why they are the best team in the world right now. Whatever position they are, they can always come back and just cause absolute havoc.
Incredible stuff. Incredible. Fnatic proving once again why they are considered the best in the world. They've won the most majors. And so far with Dennis, they've never lost a tournament that they have entered. Incredible stuff. We're going to go over to OJ. He's ready on stage after that incredible match.
Thank you, Lee. Yes, it was absolutely incredible. Olaf, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was a little bit too close for comfort, but they played good. But in the beginning, when we had 8-1 or something, it felt like our team was like, we need to play better. Something it didn't really feel that good, even when we were up with 8-1 or whatever the score was.
Because you were up, then you were behind, then you had to save it, then it was overtime, and then it was just like, what the funk is going on here? At any point, did you think we've lost this?
No, never with this team, because we have done it before. We always managed to come back in really hard situations, but it didn't feel that great at some point. But I know that we always can come back.
Is that the strength of you as a team? Is that the strength of Fnatic? Just knowing you're never beaten?
I think that's really something we can fall back on. Like, we always have that in our minds, but I think that's something you get when you have played together for so long. You always we're comfortable in any situation because we have probably had this situation before.
Did you have your shoes on?
Yes. No, I didn't have them. I never have them on when I play.
There you go, that's the secret of his power. Don't wear your shoes when you're playing CS. So, let's talk about this tournament then. It's all about the alliances, and there's now 2 big continents of alliances. We've got the Lurpak, the 2 Danish teams, and we've got this Swedish-French alliance going on. The Swench Alliance, I'm going to call it, which means you're now in control of who plays next. Who is playing the next matchup here in Barcelona?
Envious against Astralis.
Envious versus Astralis. Why those 2 teams?
Because the Swedish-French alliance want to beat the Danish alliance. We don't want to go have the control. We want to beat them. We feel confident enough to take them on instead of just going around.
Alliance versus Alliance. Thank you very much, Olaf. So it is the Swedish Alliance taking on the Danish Alliance. Alex.
And for a long time, things did look good for the Danish Alliance. Just ripped apart by Fnatic, a team that we evidently cannot ever count out of a match, despite how close things looked for Dignitas at one point. Guys, we're going to need a bit of extra time to break this one down, that's for certain. Janko, Pansy, and Sadakist are with me. Starting with you, then Janko, you were the one that immediately just came to the desk and was like, we need some time. There's things that need to be said. But I mean, that was, for me, that was just, as a viewer, a great game to watch.
I mean, definitely the game was really exciting and entertaining. In my opinion, it was decided by the first round of the game, right? Not only because that one round or the pistol round, it was because the psychological effect of losing a round like that for a team like Dignitas, you could see that they weren't themselves for the first couple of rounds. They were doing their usual stuff, but they couldn't hit anything. Like the Fnatic players just decimated them. Wherever they tried to go, it was really almost perfect rounds for Fnatic. But then when they started, coming back a little bit, where it, dozed off, then it was much more interesting.
Yeah, the first round they really took back after the back of obviously Olaf breaking Config and the rest of the boys in half, was when they eventually started to be able to trade effectively, I guess, towards the A site. Before, it was like every time they try and peek one of the Fnatic players, you'd have another swing out, whether it be Olaf playing there, whether it's Crim's play, it doesn't really matter at that point. They eventually was able to single one of the two out, eventually work through towards the site, but it was just the fact that before that they never have an opportunity to pick up more than one player at this point. There's no chance they could have traded out better, so it took a hell of a lot of rounds to even get that far.
Matt, you firmly stick to your guns about this the pistol round decided the fate of that entire match. I know that you felt like that was just Olaf snatching the victory from Dignitas.
I mean, I wouldn't say that clear cut. At the time, it looked that way. I mean, even Device was up here going, oh, great, like, here we go. And it definitely, like Janko said, had an effect on them. It put them a little bit on the back foot. I think the interesting thing is with Dignitas, once they got that lead, you could see it. Yeah. Every time they lost a clutch, it was like, uh-oh. Because you know what Fnatic's going to do. And they tensed up, they took the time out, they couldn't win the gun round. And then I think they really over-focused a little bit. They were a little bit stiff on their movement, they got a little bit scared. And Fnatic, meanwhile, are going, oh,
let's go.
We've got them where we want them.
They're scared.
Yeah.
And it's almost like Fnatic with this team. They only rise when there is pressure on them. Same with like Starlighter throughout the whole tournament. They only showed up when they needed to. Same here. Again, Olaf clutches it out with the play where Rubino goes up into the long hallway. He hits the headshot. He's got like 9 HP at that point. Hits the headshot, round over. That would have made it a one-on-one, and they could have won the game right there. So pretty impressive stuff with Fnatic, how they just always hold it together in that situation.
To be fair, though, initially when they did put Olaf towards the platform, it didn't particularly work that well. It was Crimson drop, which was the next part that we never really saw coming through against Envy, because MBK just stopped it. This time he was the one who broke in, brought it down to, I think it was that 1v1 with Tensky, and I can't remember who else was left. But Tensky had 2 of these clutches, and he didn't pull either of them off. And you could see the look of
dread.
Shit, basically. It literally was just like, I don't know what to do. It's happening because it seems that even if Olaf wasn't the player to do it, there's always another one who can achieve that sort of level and find that sort of room to breathe. But you've got to feel for them because, to be fair, Cbble had an outstanding CT side as well. He was playing out of his mind. He was kind of every single place that they needed him to be. He was hitting up A, he was hitting up B. And the T side from Fnatic wasn't all that outstanding until the last kind of throws again.
That's the thing. The T side of Fnatic, I don't know if I've seen something such a big of a contrast in a T side of a team, right? So their approach, how they get map control and so on is so ugly. Like compared to Dignitas and how they get control of long game and so on, it's theirs is much more crisp. But when it comes to the last 30-35 seconds and then decide to go for B platform and drop, they're so good at trading there and at baiting the positions of the CT-sided team. So you could see in the final round or 29th round, so Config gets a kill, he dinks the other player, and he's between the fountain and B platform, and you can see the 2 players on platform play it so well. The guy that is dinked, he hides, because he knows that his teammate is going to step up, he's going to get the trade kill. Like it looks like Fnatic isn't doing anything when it comes to that, but that is so hard to pull off. Like you have to have so much game sense and confidence in your teammates, and have faith basically that if you just hide, they're gonna step up and they're gonna do what's needed.
It does look effortless sometimes.
The other thing I would say on the converse to that, with Dignitas in the clutch situations, it's almost like they wanted to force it too much. Like they felt they had to just close the round. There was a couple aggressive peaks that didn't necessarily need to happen. There was the one-on-one on the B site. I think it was actually Config behind the rock. He killed the first guy who had the bomb, and then he re-peeks right away. Now, I know there's a minute, he was behind the rock, there's not movement. There's no reason to take that fight right then. Sit back and get more information, make him make the Fnatic player make the move.
It took the casters by surprise as well. They were like, oh, it's over. Wait, Crim's just, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't aware that the smoke was passing. There was a smoke there initially, and Crims was the guy who clutched the round, right? And Crims hasn't been having a good game so up until that point, basically. He was the guy playing A on the CT side. Later on in the half, they were just, abusing him there. He wasn't having much support and so on. But that's why Crims is always, that's why he is one of the best clutch players in the world. He's always so calm. Not many things can get to him. And I have to say, I was praising Config before, saying how he isn't probably as affected as much as some of the younger players by playing on LAN. But his performance has, it has not been like he's been playing really bad. But comparing to how he plays online and the numbers he puts there, it has been, diminishing, right? And you could see that maybe at times nerves were getting to him, even in that last round.
It's the 1v1s, right? You think the 1v1 with Olaf at the start and the 1v1 at the end. So the opening close, the kind of first nail and coffin in the last.
To be fair, it was a 2 versus 1 at the end because they had the smoke out. I was a bit surprised he jumped to see over that. Fnatic did play it really well, but like, why jump peek? As soon as you're in the air, even if you get the information, you're up against 2 of the best players with aim in the world. Like,
and in that situation, in that round, we were all sitting there just basically saying, he's going to hit this. You know Olaf. It's the last round. No one else would be doing this, but Olaf is. And the fact that we're saying that means that Dignitas are probably feeling the same kind of thing. Like, they're just like, this is Fnatic. They're gonna do it again.
That's the thing. Actually, in the round that Crims won, in the 1v1, it was Olaf getting a triple kill with the op behind the rock, So he's constantly being there in the most important rounds and so on. But the thing is, this is why whenever we have a pre-game show and talk about Fnatic, we're like always repeating the same things, right? You need to deal with them on an individual basis and in those basic fundamentals of the game, because they never go for. They don't have so many flashy strats and so on. They have a couple of strats here and there. The round where they had, where Dignitas had an auto sniper, right? They had a lot of smoke. They actually smoked the chicken coop, so they forced him out of position. So they do have strats, but that's not their main strength, right? They do it when they actually have to. And this is, I think this game is the best example of why it is so hard to beat Fnatic.
Just to, if we've got a second here, go over what this now means for the rest of the system.
Yeah, okay, you can break it down. You've got your head around it.
So Dignitas, if they'd won this, which they very nearly did, the plan then was to go ahead and put Astralis against G2. Because Astralis is the better team out of the two, they have the better chance against G2. They would then turn around and put Dignitas back against Vex, knocks Vex out, G2 goes down to 1 life, and then with the last game of the day, they would have put Fnatic against Envious, putting one of those two either out of the tournament or on 1 life. If it was Fnatic that lost, they would have been out. And then their alliance, they still have all 6 lives. Tomorrow, it's just a walk in the park.
Yeah.
They can still make this somewhat easier for them. If Astralis pick up this win, they go back in control. The objective, no matter how they play it out from that point, if they want to knock out Vex or just take another life off G2, is they'll play Envious against Fnatic. In turn, if Astralis lose this, they and Dignitas will each be on 2. And that alliance will put them against each other at the end of the day, so that the Danes will go down to just 3 lives total after having 6 at the start.
Yeah, it indeed is all going to come down. I mean, we said it came down to this matchup, and this was a very important matchup, but it is, of course, our next game as well, seeing how Astralis can perform up against Envy. We're going to be seeing that then just after the break, guys. We've got so much more CS on the way, and that was a fantastic example of what this Expo has to offer. So we're going to catch 5, and we'll be back with more.